Hit me!
Episode 303.
Oh, it's not 302?
302.
You've got to throw some cold water on the situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of NetHeads. My name's Will.
And I'm Trent.
If you want to take part in the program, you can one of many ways. With most people, that'll be after the fact in this case. But it's a little thing we call Twitter. Trent, why don't you tell them about how they more than likely aren't interacting with us until after the fact?
Well, or you could be Roller Dog NC, who uses the hashtag NetHeads, and he communicates with us on the reg as it is. The question being, Will, as he uses the hashtag NetHeads on Twitter, as you can too, to join in for conversation, be it live or after the fact. Does your new coffee machine make Deuce's coffee?
That is that's a callback and a half, my friend, because there you're talking about something that is from the. Everyone just got a quick preview of what you see, because I'm in the lower right-hand corner of your screen now.
Yeah.
At all times, like Big Brother, I have no privacy.
I'm always watching.
Well, it's either that or you have less headroom at your utilization. I'm used to you being higher up in frame, I guess. But please, God, don't touch your camera right now. Anyway, that's a callback to the few rare instances of the Smodco's Morning Show we slipped in on.
Yes.
But because if I ever did open a coffee company, like a coffee place, I would name it Deuce's Coffee, just so I could sell, and I probably could just sell T-shirts that say Deuce's Coffee. There's nothing like a fresh hot Deuce in the morning.
Deuce in the morning, yeah.
You know,
There's nothing that'll loosen your deuce like a cup of Deuce.
There you go. Wow, you really took it to the next damn level.
I deuced it up.
I don't mean to sound like a dick, Trent, and at the head of this talk about, the fact that we haven't done it in a while, but literally I'm over here switching in OBS, completely forgetting I've got the Stream Deck, this beautiful little thing where I just get to press buttons.
Does it for you.
So I can just cut to Trent or anything else that I want.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I got like a jackass, I'm pressing buttons, but it's been a while, but we do them when we can. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, I would like to think so. And that in that sense, we do it in a way that is not arduous or difficult, but is it's always a good, fresh, therapeutic session, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what it is mostly for me. Usually I walk out of here in a good mood, unless something's gone horribly wrong. Usually walk out of here in a good mood. And but, that makes no sense, because I do speak to my wife all during the week. So, we talk too. So it's not like I'm
but it's weird bro time, you got to bro out sometimes.
So you're telling me I'm going to go over the past 301 episodes of this, and I'm going to hear broing out?
Our unique version of it, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you added that flag, that caveat, if you will.
Yeah. This isn't regular man cave talk, right?
No, especially since I look like I have the man cave of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Alternative title for the show, Man Cave for a 12-year-old.
So I guess that would be a pubescent cave. Okay, they're not a man yet, so it could be a man cave. So it'd be a prepubescent cave.
No, it's a boy cave. But the problem is that sounds more like a club downtown.
It might as well be the manhole at that point.
Well, I'm glad you took it that way, because then I just heard boy cave in my head,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that just
Well, it depends on how you spell it, because there's more than one type of boy in the LGBTQ community. So
see, now you've just thrown me for a complete loop, and got to make an awkward subject change.
yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine.
I have to congratulate you though. During the downtime, I can definitely see that you do have a passion project, which, by the way, is not the reason why we're intermittent. But hey, there's sometimes you just want a podcast that only comes along every 2 months, right? I mean,
Yeah. Then
forget
then
that.
you're never behind.
The truth is, now what we're doing is we're actually honing down the diehard fans, because they're the ones
Totally.
who, when their podcast app on Apple devices links up and says, hey, you haven't downloaded this in a while, you're still interested, they're the ones that say yes.
Yes.
Okay? That's who they are. Because really, you're at that point, we're literally working against software now, Trent, in order to stay within people's
right?
podcast players. That's all I'm saying. But it hasn't been because of that. Trent had the Salt Lake Comic-Con. I've had life. We've had family. And people haven't been feeling well. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. But your side gig, if you will, or your side gig, or your quadruple side gig.
Yeah.
I'll just say off the ropes and doing a triple or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, you're just pile driving this new project home. You've gotten to you've been able to do something that Vince McMahon hasn't been able to do ever, and you've been getting me to watch wrestling. Honestly, I don't know what's going on, but I just like hearing the witty banter, and boy, do you seem to be having fun.
Yeah, it's so there's a new startup promotion in Salt Lake City called Devotion Championship Wrestling. And not in like a devoted like religious sense, but like devoted like passion wise, right? And they didn't have anyone. They did like their first show and didn't have anyone to film it. And I'm like, well, I have access to a couple of cameras. I could set up a static camera, and they didn't have anyone taking photos. I'm like, well, I have an okay camera, and then it has since purchased some more lenses and for since January now, and now we're doing 2 shows a month. Yeah, I record all the shows with 2 rolling static cameras, and then I take stills photography during the match, and then I edit it all, and then I also do commentary after on it.
But it's just a little something you're doing, right?
It's just this small thing that takes up all of my free time.
So much so that bro here last week, when I'm like, hey, how much pod could a podcast pod if a podcast could pod? To which I think the next day I got the response, hey man, sorry, just restarted my phone and got a gazillion messages.
Yeah, I did. I thought I was like, either I'm doing things right or very wrong, because I haven't talked to anyone forever.
Man, technology's out to get you. But yeah,
a lot of it was just my mom being like, "Are you ignoring me?"
So where can people find your? Because you also have an online persona that's one of the announcers for the matches.
Yes. So my online persona, his name is Lauren Gardner. That's LORUN, which is an acronym of the Olympic wrestler who came from my hometown, Rulon Gardner. And so you can
Was that dude on Biggest Loser?
Yes, he got kicked off. Do you want to hear some inside stuff about that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more terrifying, that you're all excited and you got inside chatter, or the fact that for some reason I'm able to remember an obscure reference from nearly a decade ago.
From like 10 years ago. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh. No, I think have you never said this on mic? Because I
don't know
that you've mentioned that there are certain things like the production wouldn't show.
Yeah. Maybe I have mentioned it on. Yeah, essentially he was doing like wrestling tricks to lose weight, to make the weigh-ins. So like he just like wouldn't curb his eating or anything, and then he'd do like wrestling tricks to like sweat weight off water weight, and then be able to make all of his like goals or whatever that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him the choice to leave or be kicked off.
Oh, wow. So that's why because I don't even remember what it was. I think they may have said a family thing or
Yeah.
something just about his personal journey. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
But
something.
wow, that
Yeah.
is
But he's doing awesome now. So yeah, hold true, folks. But yeah, check out. Just go to devotionwrestling.com. There's all the links to everything there.
Oh yeah, we were promoting something when suddenly we started to besmirch
Yeah.
the name of somebody.
Yeah. No, he just he wasn't. There was nothing in the rules that said he couldn't do that.
There you go. See, exactly.
Yeah.
And believe you me, lately I've really learned how you can in some ways hack your body to get certain results.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is nuts, but it's true. And it all comes down to playing with water weight. Like, here's the thing. If I ever did one of those TV shows like The Biggest Loser, which, by the way, USA is bringing back. Why do I know this? I know Rulon's name.
Really?
Again, ask me when my brother Steven's birthday is.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was I talking about?
Just body hacking.
Oh, but yeah, body hacking, because really it's all around
Boy, that sounded weird.
yeah, it's all around water weight. So if I were ever going on a show like Biggest Loser,
Yeah.
before the first weigh-in, I would drink copious amounts of water. Just
and eat all the salty foods so you just retain as much water as possible.
Yeah, exactly. But then I would like on that show, I would do less water the following week, or if I wanted the one big win, that's where you just pull out all the stops.
Yep.
And then you just stay away from sugar, carbs, and dairy, and you could literally, like, and with working out, you could work the water right out of your system. So,
oh yeah.
And I've just learned that going from, like the few times family gatherings, what the hell, I'll have some pizza. And then, the next night, you know what? Sushi does sound good. God, I sound like a douche. But, I slip in and out, and then I can see what would almost be a ridiculous increase followed by an almost equally ridiculous decrease as things work their way through. By the way, sorry, I'm a little nasally. I am fighting a cold. Apparently, my wife's entire family is now. So,
I've been like, I don't know if it's like as the seasons change or whatever, but I've been feeling it in my nose lately too. I've been feeling a little nasally. Maybe it's a seasonal, like when the dog's fur changes when the seasons change. I'm going through a
Trent. What you're talking about there is we got that hay fever. That's what we got.
Yeah, it might be it. Yeah.
You got that harvest. You got that harvest fever is what you got. Because, this time of year is the harvest festival, Trent.
It is.
Am I right on that? I'm just guessing because Brentwood, I think they've got something that kind of comes in around this time of year that they call the harvest festival or something.
I mean, we don't have one, but there are many an Oktoberfest being held around these parts.
Man, there was one time we were in South Lake Tahoe right around Oktoberfest, and everyone humored me and went down because I just wanted to buy a Stein from Oktoberfest.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And guess what bag ripped, taking everything out of the car?
No. Did it shatter?
Oh, dude, not even, I don't think I even owned it 4 hours.
Oh, just enough to get home.
Yeah, son of a gun. Anyway.
Did it have the lid?
No, it was just a glass Stein. I mean, I could go down to the Dollar Tree and probably find one as well.
Same.
I know. Anyway, none of that's either here nor there. Be sure to, what's the website again for the wrestling?
Devotionwrestling.com.
Thank you. So Trent, talking about impediments. Actually, first let's dial it back a little bit. You made mention of the new coffee machine. Since we are allegedly a tech podcast, then I would definitely mention how sometimes you may not think of things as technology, but they are one way or another. For a case in this case anyway, we're talking about the ability to try and make some type of coffee. Now, I don't know if you know this, Trent, but I have in this house, technically speaking, well over half a dozen different ways to make coffee. Okay?
Yeah, you mean you just don't have the Keurig machine?
Oh no, there's one of those in the pantry.
Because that's my only way. Like, if I want to make coffee at home, That's my one way now. I threw away my other coffee maker.
Yeah, we have the traditional coffee maker. At the time, we had an inexpensive espresso machine, French press, vacuum brewer, cold brew, pour over, and there's one other one. There's the jar with the nut sack. So if you want to do cold brew that way,
if you wanted cold brew it, yeah.
But there's one other one, and I'm forgetting. Oh, the espresso pot or something like that. It looks like two metal hexagons coming together.
Is that the vacuum one?
No, that's not the vacuum brewer. But it works very much like an old fashioned percolator if you think about it. Water coming.
Okay.
Why we're breaking this down? Why is it because I said over half a dozen? You put up a shut up. So I do now. In the past, I had used that same mocha pot, I think is what it's called. I've used that to come at home to the closest I could really get in making an espresso. That was the first.
Okay.
That was like $20 at Home Goods. Boy, oh boy, people love Home Goods, man. Do you know what this is? It's like,
no, what's Home Goods?
It's like I think it's like a sister store, not to TJ Maxx, but one of those
Ross?
Yeah. TJ Maxx is the one I'm thinking of. But it specializes in just the home goods stuff, you know?
Oh, okay. I would be all up in that, man.
Yeah, because it's discount too. People love it.
So
anyway.
it's like discount Bed Bath & Beyond.
There you go. Hot diggity dog. I stick a fork in that one. It's done. So that was my first purchase, $20, right? Then cruising like the specials, I think, on Prime Day. And there's like for $79, it's a single or double shot espresso maker with a frother. So the bare minimum, okay? I already got a grinder too. You got to have a grinder for whole beans. So I could grind everything myself. I'd been doing that since the mocha pot. Yeah, for the grounds.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm familiar with other types of grinders.
Okay.
No, not the social dating app. I know what everyone will jump to that conclusion.
No, all you got to do is go listen to Kevin Smith's Smodcast with the guy who has Raw, and then you'll find all kinds of products in there, one of which is a grinder.
Is the grinder, yeah,
There
exactly,
you go.
yeah.
So if you want to find out more, listen to that podcast. In itself, an amazing podcast, but I'm not here to blow that podcast right now.
Later.
So first it was the mocha pot, and I already had the grinder to get a fine grind to try and approximate espresso. Then had the espresso machine, but it never really worked quite right. And then my wife, who knows me, for our 25th anniversary, Trent, can you imagine what have you done consistently for 25 years?
I can only think of one thing that I've consistently done for 25 years.
Don't ask a question when you don't want the answer. Fair enough. Hell of a lot more than that too, I'm sure. Anyway, so after 25 years, my anniversary gift was this Breville Barista Express. Now, to say the mocha pot was okay, the alleged espresso machine was very similar to the mocha pot experience.
Yeah.
This Barista Express thing, first of all, it's got its own hopper for beans. You can set the consistency and the volume that you want in grounds, and you just click this bad boy under there, and it fills your shot thingy. Where the place where the shot is.
With whatever, like, so if you want like a coarse or a fine grind, or it does it all for you. And I mean, on top of it, I just want to say, you're already like winning with what I think is like the Bentley, the Rolls Royce of quality when it comes to I don't know what the term is.
Breville?
Yes, Breville. They're just every product they make, I love. Absolutely am a fanboy over.
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of obsessing over this machine a little bit. And then, actually, when I got to go to the set of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, instead of having to stay up in the holding area, I got to go down to production and watch the preview monitors, and that was right by Crafty. And they had one of those things there.
Oh, dude.
So I was able to like look at it and really scope it out.
Yeah, there's like this movie being filmed, and you're over on the side being like, "Oh my god, can you do individual cups with that thing? Well, how do you set the grind?"
The tamper just it magnetically locks in there until you need it. That's genius. Oh, look, the little drawer. It's got this little floaty that says "empty me" when it's filled with water. Oh my gosh. Explosions, Iron Bob.
Yeah. Celebrities walking around. This coffee thing's awesome.
Not now, Muse, not now.
Fuck off.
Anyway, I got to see it. I was so impressed. And dude, I'm not kidding. It really does. It makes, it definitely, what I make, I feel exceeds Starbucks. Maybe not on par with Pete's, but definitely a wonderful brewing experience at home. And it really just goes to show that sometimes you truly do get what you pay for. And with this thing, it's just making incredible coffee drinks. So much so, I used to get mid-morning before I would take the time to make coffee. Now I'm just like, is there any way we can put this by the bed so I can start making while I'm waking up?
I mean, it's funny though, because like, you know, we're creatures of habit. Our brain has evolved that way, so that we can think, like, pay attention to things that are more important. But like, it's so true though. Like, there is something within me, I pick up my coffee on the first floor, going up to my office on the fourth floor, and then it's not until I've like gone through, you know, about half of the thermos that I'm like feeling awake, right? To be able to start that and 2 hours earlier, oh, I would love that.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm going on about the quality here. You'd think I were getting a referral. Although if you did use our, you know what? I'll link this thing on the website or somewhere.
Yeah.
So that way you can click it and you can see it. And if you fall in love with it, you know. Anyway, I'm talking about the quality of the flavor of it, and mind you, I'm doing certain things because of these ridiculous measures I'm trying to take to lose weight. So I've got sugar-free vanilla syrup, okay?
Yeah.
I'm frothing a little bit of heavy cream with vanilla unsweetened almond milk.
Instead of a half and half or a pure cream.
Right. So, and even under those circumstances, I like what I'm tasting. Now, I've used regular milk to make a latte for Denise. I've come close to something that's at least palatable for her. No, I need to come up with some things that are just a little bit sweeter, but not on the artificial sweetener flavor side there. Yeah. But still, that great experience. So like this thing, like when you figure what, I think the average Starbucks drink is probably what, $5?
Oh God, I don't even know. I can imagine though.
Yeah, let's say it's like that. Well, like with one of these things, once you've made your 100th drink, so somewhere 90 and 100, you're now making money instead of throwing away. And I will tell you too, this is because it's the fall season. I know everyone's all like, "Oh, don't give me."
Oh my God! I want my pumpkin spice.
That was worth it alone. The only place that does it better is John Oliver because they've got like the explosive. That's right, the pumpkin spice latte is back. Is back. Oh, it's so great. Anyway, Death Wish coffee, my favorite brand. I get it delivered every month. See, and I usually go for the Valhalla Java Odin Force blend. Folks, I practice what I preach. Douche coffee. It always comes with a sticker, so I've got like 45. As a matter of fact, if you actually watch this or listen to this, and you send us an email, netheadsonair@gmail.com, however many Valhalla Java stickers I find laying around here.
Ooh.
Okay, it's not going to be a lot, but then again, I don't think we're going to be talking about a massive volume of requests here, too. I'll send you either one of the Death Wish coffee ones or a Valhalla Java one. That's a little 29-cent investment from us to you. But they also do patches, right? And one of the patches was just this.
Oh, see that's the sticker they should be putting out too.
Now, that obviously it's turning the Death Wish logo into a pumpkin. If you want something that doesn't have pumpkin but has amazing flavor that does taste like fall in a cup.
Yeah.
Death Wish Coffee's Cauldron Aged Pumpkin Spice Blend. They literally take the beans. At first, they take all kinds of the traditional pumpkin spices, the thyme and that kind of stuff, and they put it in a cauldron and they age that for I think like I don't know how long. Then they put unroasted beans in there for a certain amount of time, and then they roast the beans. So the beans really gain these pumpkin spices.
They're absorbing that flavor, yeah.
And seriously, even when I'm making it with the crappy ingredients I mentioned to you, it tastes like a pumpkin pie in my mouth every morning. It's and just it has great aroma too. So if you have a chance to try that out, if you're somebody that wants to explore some things, and you're like, okay, I do want the pumpkin spice in my life at home. Hoy baby, their stuff is good. The only problem is now I'm convinced that the new coffee machine is going to be pumpkin spice probably for 6 months after the fact.
Yeah, well, there's worse things to have. But you're right though, dude. Like the fall seasonal beers are by far my favorite too. Like the Oktoberfest Sam Adams. Yeah, it's not a craft beer. It's not microbrew, but gosh dang it, it is so tasty and it's just perfect. Like it's not quite a winter stout, which is more heavy, and it still has like some spices, but it's not sweet like a summer ale or a summer shandy or anything. Like just everything about the fall is the best.
Yeah, man, those lemon accents are gone in your beverages
Finally.
this time of year.
Oh,
I know there are a lot of people that look forward to this time of year specifically because like you said, animals they're transitioning their undercoats.
I've got like a molting dog. I shit you not, dude. It is bizarre.
See, and which one?
Lurch.
So is he a long-haired breed?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. So
Yep.
What I'm about to tell you is right on par. Rika he's quote unquote blowing his coat. So what they transition
Yes, this is a thing.
is their undercoat. And I guess one falls out so the new one can come in.
Yeah.
And you literally just pull it looks like you're ripping apart a pillow because you can just pull like big gigantic clumps of white fur off of him. And it is just it's amazing. And it's really soft. It's like cotton. That's what you just got right now.
That was one pet.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you're going to, dude, I feel your pain. The only thing I'll say
everywhere.
Yeah, but at least like you wear dark colors and it's not, I got a white dog and my favorite color to wear is black.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Mr. Wilkins, I don't think you thought this through. No. Anyway, okay, well, so that's, but anyway, I was just saying the animals are changing their coats and the beverages are changing their accents. Because I'm sure this time of year, beers may have more like of a thyme or a clove kind of taste to them.
Exactly.
See, you're right there with me. So much, I just discovered that these things, their best by date is like a year in advance. I'm going to stock up on this shit. It's going to be pumpkin spice whenever I want it, Trent.
Yeah. to be damned with seasonal marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I shall conquer you, seasonal marketing. You will be mine.
Yeah.
Speaking of technology, Trent, another reason why we've kind of gone long, if you will, things have been in disarray because you remember I was just talking about all the amazing stuff I did to get like my MacBook integrated.
Yes.
Was part of the space here, and I should probably change some things around. Two things have happened. One, I had a HDMI coming off of it, and like I would get this misalignment and screen flickering stuff just on the external monitor, and couldn't determine what it was. But one of the things I noticed when we went down to San Diego Comic-Con, when I was working on the table, I put the laptop down, and I'm like, is this teetering a little bit? Oh, it is.
Power source problem.
Well, I'm using the laptop and took it out again, and I set it on the kitchen counter. Now, mind you, my wife has the exact same model. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I loved it so much. When it came time for her to get a new system, she wanted a
Yeah.
MacBook. I got that too.
Same one.
So I was able to compare it, and sure enough, it was bowing out. So I called Apple like right before the holiday, and then like immediately after the holiday, I had a box on Wednesday. I got the laptop in the box on Wednesday, got it to FedEx, and FedEx out on Wednesday. Thursday, they received it. Thursday, they fixed it. Thursday, they shipped it back out to me.
Dang.
At no cost to me. And then Friday morning, actually, just within an hour of reading the email of, hey, your unit's on its way back, I'm like, what? An hour after that, it shows up.
Does that have to do somewhat of the proximity of where you live as well, do you think?
Nope, because
their standard.
It went here and there.
Holy
but
crap.
I'll tell you what it is. I think of the many issues that are going on, I think Apple is extremely sensitive about their MacBook batteries because, like, there's certain airlines right now that won't let you check certain models on.
Really?
You can put them in the luggage, but you can't put them up above because of, quote unquote, exploding batteries, like the Samsung Galaxy thing that happened.
Yeah,
or whatever it was.
the first Galaxy that came out.
Yeah. So I think the reason why I got such great Surface and why everything happened so wonderfully fast is they don't want people bringing up their battery issues. Because, mind you, I think you're aware of the fact that just a bit ago, my Apple Watch had to go back to Apple because the battery swelled up and popped the thingamajig. So much so that, like, I still have the other, because naturally I'm like, oh, well, it's going to get repaired, refurbished. I'll just get a new one and sell that one.
And sell the refurbished version.
It's still right here. I haven't sold anything. I'm dumb. So I think they're really sensitive about the battery issue and they don't want people talking about it. So it's like, oh, well, let's just make sure this gets handled.
Yeah, and like if you have a good experience about it, it's a net positive rather than a net loss.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad it all got fixed, but then I thinking to myself, oh well, maybe the battery was swelling and it was putting pressure or undue heat on the on the video processor or a connection therein. Nope, hooked it up, same goddamn flickering issue.
Really?
Now, and here's the crappy thing. Mind you, remember those MacBooks, that model, it's all USB-C ports.
Right. It's not, there's not an actual monitor port or a HDMI port.
Yeah, so I've got like USB-C docks to be able to bring this thing in. As a matter of fact, one of them, I just realized I should really return this because it's not the problem. The last ditch effort is actually... is to get another monitor and hook it up straight USB-C. Because what I've read is that they may have HDMI rendering issues in these USB-C ones.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, because the Retina display is beautiful, right? That's why it still is the preferred device for designers, right? Not out of function, but out of the way it shows true color the way it should, et cetera, et cetera. I wonder if they have like a different refresh rate or a different frequency that it's refreshing at that you may have to adjust or something like that. I don't know, because I know, and this is just not related, but just interesting how the way that signals developed in different parts of the world. That's why we have PAL and that's why we have NTSC is because of the frequency and the refresh rates. And that's why they're not compatible for the different places that you go to. Granted, now we're well beyond that with like able to like digitize everything, that we don't necessarily need to have region specific video formats. But it's still tie over from, the days of original television broadcasting.
I think you literally just got nerdier than I ever have. And sorry, I wasn't meaning to not pay attention to you,
no.
but for some reason, Vector is. Hey, Vector, freeze all motor functions.
Why do you hate me so?
Pretty much. It's.
I only want to please you.
Why do I exist? To pass the butter. Oh my God. Tell me about it. That was just on last night on my TV on Hulu. God, I can't wait for Rick and Morty to come back.
Right?
Yeah, it's just the quirkiness of it kills me. But I even switched the monitor.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got a different dock thinking it was overheating and freaking out, but I don't know what it may be. I think it's just something where it has to do the USB-C translation to HDMI and back and forth there.
Even I even wonder, because I know like I've talked about this in the past, like my MIDI conversion for audio doesn't work. Like, or it'll work on a USB 3, but it picks up frequency static regardless. And so I have to go through a USB 2, even though it's capable of transmitting data through USB 3, it has to go through a USB 2. Otherwise, there's just this weird extra static that it picks up. I mean, it kind of sounds like a similar deal, right? Where it's like the static is being interpreted as like a flicker.
Trent, it's God messing with me.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
It's just, it's just one of those things. It's so freaking annoying, but it just is what it is. There are far worse problems to have in this world. So whatever. But it's just, the thing is, everything that I think of when I go through something, I don't mean to sound like a pompous ass, but whenever I go through stuff like this, my first immediate thought is, how do other people deal with this? Because I'm the kind of person where when that starts happening, I instantly Google, okay, how can I look at some type of error or event log or something to be able to trace what the issue may be? Or, I've got the experience where I'm doing things and I have the ability to do things like swap out a monitor, swap out a dock, try these things. Whereas, actually, I guess I know the answer because it's like people call me. That's what happens. So never mind.
Yeah, no,
That's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. I search in Reddit for who has asked this same question.
Yeah, and
then to see how people have responded in different forums.
Yeah,
because I looked up something the other day. I remember what it. I was trying to see if there was some way to trick Adobe Premiere into rolling shutter frequency bars, right? So like if you're shooting in really low light and you've got a high shutter speed, the frequencies get confused between the light and the rolling frame, and so you'll get like these black bars that slowly just roll up the screen. And so I'm like looking everywhere I can, because I don't know how the hell to fix this. So I'm just like seeing who has had this problem before on the Adobe forum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good that at least we know how to find the information. But
I know how to ask. I don't know how to find what's wrong with it.
I don't know how to make it actually work. I don't know. Well, for me, it's like a little frustrating because I could I think it took me like 30 minutes in order to find out that thank you. Anyway, it took me 30 minutes to find out that there may even be an HDMI issue, but it's just like other people that's why they get annoyed and why shit gets returned to places, because they're like, I just couldn't make it work, I gave up. Whereas you and I were just like, nope, we're gonna make this happen, we're gonna make this go.
Yep. Have to. It's and which also shows the genius of a company like Newegg. Maybe I've brought this up before, but all of Newegg's like when you call to speak to a representative, they're not just a customer service representative, they're also a trained tech help.
Oh, okay.
And so they're able to eliminate their sunk cost in returns by helping customers resolve a problem without sending the product back.
And that's what you want. Well, actually, you notice too that there are a lot of companies now where they want to make sure they're the ones handling the issue. So you like,
Right.
even if you buy like a shop vac, from like a Ryobi shop vac, or I don't know what the real names are. I got an orange one. It's an off brand, but they have a card in there that says, if you have any issues, please call this number. Don't go back to the store.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Actually, there's a whole subculture of boutique businesses that run through Amazon that do the exact same thing. And you can always tell who they are, because these are the people that really follow up and want to know how your order was. Can you give us a review?
Yeah.
They're the ones that are, we need every bit helps. So please contribute.
Yeah.
Everyone's being very brand aware, which is good, but it's just things like this that frustrates me, especially since if it really is an issue, like if I do get a USB-C monitor, and the world we live in, I very easily could. I could buy one, get it from
one in the
Amazon,
morning.
test it out, and have it the next day, decide if it works, decide if I want to go that route, or what the heck, I'll just send it back.
Yeah.
I could do any one of those things, any one of those options, because Amazon makes it so goddamn easy.
Yep.
And the only thing you have to deal with, and that is, it's like, what do I do with all these boxes? That's your biggest problem. But even when you go to return something now,
I know.
in our area, it's like, how do you want to return it? Here, you can scan this code and you can take it to a UPS store, or you can take this code and you can drop it off at Kohl's, or
Oh, really?
yeah, Kohl's is one too. And it's just like, wow, they are just everywhere, and they make it so easy. So much so you don't even need the box. You just bring the thing and an item, and whiz bang zoom, it goes back. They throw it in a clear bag or a box at the UPS store for you. Yeah.
Huh.
Premium service. And don't even get me started about how creepy it is that in most cases you can like track your driver. Oh, you're 2 stops away.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's like, that's weird, but
Yeah.
but it makes sense too, because it allows them to also track where everything is. So now it's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, we're already monitoring them. Let's just make it so that the customer can experience it too.
I know. We're only moments away from like the drivers wearing body cams streaming their delivery.
No, man, we're
We
not
don't care
very
about our police.
we're not very far away from the vans just being autonomous, not autonomous, but like drone
Yeah.
people with the drone
Yeah.
delivery up there. Whatever happened to them using actual drones to try and do this?
There was something in the news. I can't remember who. I think it was Walgreens was going to start doing some testing with it. It's still there, but I think people realize that it's the liability is so high that it's still not a viable resource, like way to do it.
Not to mention, you're just gonna get like all these crossbow looters that are just like,
Totally, dude. Yeah, screw a crossbow. Give me a rock. Right? Like,
anything
hey, we got
rudimentary.
one coming by.
What's it gonna be? What we gonna get today? Ooh, it's the Amazon
Give me your
slot
shoes.
machine.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's bad enough that like come Christmas time, like I always see people posting on social media about, even with their like doorbell cameras and stuff of like, hey, we'll be on the lookout for this person. They've been stealing packages in this area, in this neighborhood or whatever.
Let me tell you what security cameras do, Trent. They give you a poor quality image of the person that jacked you, and more than likely
Piss you off even more.
won't be able to do a goddamn thing about it. That's what they do. And I say that having an ADG security camera on the driveway
Yep.
and a Ring video doorbell. The only time the Ring video doorbell has come in handy, by the way, with the amount of time it takes to load and view and everything, is when something was being delivered and they needed a signature, and I'm like, I am just 5 minutes away. Can you wait? Great, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Most of the times, like if I see my wife and kid going out on the porch, and I try and quickly, hit it and like, hey, what are you doing? I don't think they hear me, so it's pointless. And God knows if it were, what, am I going to get on this thing and go, hey, don't do that?
Yeah.
What?
Say, hey, you kids.
It's
I know that's poo on fire.
And like, look, man, you're still on with me, and I'm not setting off an alarm, so I know I've got at least 10 minutes before the cops are here. So
Yeah,
you
right.
you can say hey all you want, and not to mention, like in a lot of the videos, you see them wearing like hoods and
Yeah, like
bandanas now.
they know. Yeah.
And I'm literally talking about like notices I get on Ring. It's like, here's your neighborhood report, and you see
Oh,
things,
really?
and like, here they are coming out of the house, and all you see are like blurs and handkerchiefs and beanies and
Yeah.
anything just to completely homogenize your
Yeah.
appearance.
Yeah.
So yeah, the MacBook got fixed. That's the whole point. Except I still got that issue, and I gotta figure out what to do. I'm at a point where I'm supposed to be getting a standing desk now, and I'm not sure what I want to do. You know what I mean?
So I've got a standing desk at work, and I recently moved to another spot, same type of desk or whatever. And my excuse beforehand of not using the standing desk is I'm the only one with a tower, right? A tower machine. And the cables and everything going up and down would screw everything up. But I'm so anal about cable management that when I moved to this new one, I did it right, and I like mounted the power strip to the bottom of the desk, and then everything plugs in underneath in the back. And now, so I can go like full standing. I have yet to do it though.
Well, at least you got it cabled. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like maybe you're the same way, but like if I'm standing, I'm because I have worked at a standing desk before, and when I do stand, I don't feel that I'm able to work as focused for as long, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that's the whole idea, Trent. You're being mindful of yeah, but sometimes you just got to get shit done, and you need to sit there for 3.5 hours and not move.
Yeah, because no matter what anybody says, you can be as focused as you want, but you're still mindful of the fact of my knee's starting to click. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up the whole other thing of like, okay, that's fine. You're at a standing desk, but like, are you standing correctly? Is your weight shifted to one side? Because if it is, you might be doing damage to a hip if you do that for over a long period of time. You know what I mean? It's I don't know.
Well,
I think it's a great idea. Go for it, Will.
Well, I'm looking at it because God Almighty, I spend a lot of time in here, and I'm looking at it so that way, if for like at least 15 minutes out of every hour, I could
totally.
get back from sitting, because I'm doing something wrong, because like I get tailbone pain. Not that anyone wants to hear about this shit. But my whole point about like doing the desk though is that when you do that and you go to a standing position,
Yeah.
Unless I had like a tray under the tray to move to the table to move things to, then the monitors won't be ergonomically aligned anymore.
Right.
So I would have to get something that either moves them up and down, or what I was looking at are some of these mounts where you can adjust them. You set the tension so that way it'll be good for the weight, and you can raise them up when you do that and go back down, which is great. But then I just figure I'm going to spend all this time. It's like, okay, well, I just shifted down. Now it's 5 more minutes to get all the monitors lined up again.
Well, now that I've done that, I should probably go get, another cup of coffee before I before I start.
And then there's having to get all those. So it's just, I don't know it, but at the same time, I would regain some space in this room, which would be important.
No, that is true. That is one thing that's actually super nice. Because the desk that I have at work, there's like a little cubby back behind around a corner that normal, like with a regular desk, you wouldn't be able to use that space for anything. But with the standing desk, you can lift it up, hoard shit back in there, stack it up nice, whatever, and then close it back down. You never see it again.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I just want to get off my tailbone. That's the only reason.
I hate my chair at work so much, and partly because the seat itself doesn't rock back. The back does, but the seat itself doesn't angle at all. And so like if I'm leaning back, the chair eventually starts pushing itself backwards. Well, I'm pushing it backwards because the seat doesn't go with it. So what I ended up doing was I took a couple of the metal laptop stands that they had for people at their desks, and that's what I put my feet up on now. underneath my desk. It's freaking awesome. It's super
You
comfortable.
know, it's really bad ergonomically. I'm just saying. But yeah, well, yeah. Remember, like I think at the last show, I was probably talking about all the fresh back pain I'd gone through because of the, saving the puppies from the car and the
Yes.
whole fabrication. Well, since then, my seat has been completely upright, and I've been using the lumbar support because sometimes if the button is okay, it actually decides to turn on, and it can also vibrate. So, but now I'm getting. I guess what's really happening is now I'm getting tailbone pain because I'm actually sitting more appropriately,
And so, yeah.
so everything's lined up, and it just I gotta have ways to break it because I don't want to. I shouldn't not look forward to standing. Is my look and my point, but like even after doing this, getting out of the chair, I don't want to. Can I just stay in here?
I read in a book once, and it was a great book. It was just kind of talking. It was about kind of like the natural selection and how humans have evolved, this, that, and the other, and just what evolution is, the process, and it was great because it said like evolution's not perfect. It only works enough to get by, right? It doesn't create a perfect function. And the example they used were humans' backs. Because like, why do people have back problems? Because they it's good enough for them to pass their genes on, and that's all it had to be.
Yeah.
It didn't stop them from passing their genes on, and so that's as good as it had to be.
Amen. Yeah, and now we're also living way longer than we're genetically encoded to go for 120, but used to be getting half of that was probably a good thing. Yeah, even in feet too, actually, even though that's more like, oh, let's not get into it, but shoes have been engineered a certain way, which are actually making people walk in ways that we're not really meant
not
to.
Supposed to walk, yeah.
No, it's not supposed to be heel impact. It's not supposed to be this. Not supposed to be that. Whatever. Nobody wants us to rehash that. But it's interesting the way that even this kind of level of technology does have an impact on us. It's just like I have to look at all of the ways that especially because I'm also working at home. So I have. There's no social game to be had, and there's no, I'll just stand up and take a quick walk around the floor to break up the monotony.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. It's like, I'm going to stand up and go to the kitchen. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I'll go let the dogs out, something.
Yeah, but, my wife is here, and she does that most of the time, too. Not to mention, they've gotten better, but they still kind of don't like me. But my brother-in-law who listens to the podcast, or at least he used to, I don't know after this one, but he even came over this past weekend. They were up for a visit, and Rika the male eventually went to him. So it's just me. I can't pet him. It's just me.
Maybe well, I'm not a dog whisperer. I can't say.
Yeah, I don't know either. But let me tell you, I'm his best friend when I got food. So that's
all
half the battle. That's half the battle. Anyway, Trent, I think we have kind of reached the end of our journey this episode, but thanks for taking it with me. I sure had a good time.
Yeah, likewise, my friend.
Hopefully we can line it up and just shout at each other on Tuesdays, and that's what people can come to expect, and maybe we'll get our stuff together so that things will be on Patreon too or whatever. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for checking back. Like I said, if you want to send an email, netheadsonair@gmail.com, I will unload. And I'm sorry to put it like unloading, but like literally, if you're sending me the same, and I don't mean to say I don't appreciate it, Death Wish Coffee, but you send a sticker every time, and there's only so many surfaces that I'm gonna stick my.
It's not like you've got Trapper Keeper space for this Prime sticker.
Yeah, exactly, or every binder. By the way, oh my gosh, we almost signed off, but we didn't even talk about, and you're probably not even aware, because if it weren't for like stalking Twitter the way I do, always reading it, I wouldn't have known this. But I guess during the Emmys, there was a trailer, like a full-blown trailer dropped for El Camino, which is the Breaking Bad sequel movie.
This was not on my radar.
Oh yeah, it's all
I knew
about
I knew it was announced and that it was in production, but I didn't know they had a trailer for it.
yeah, and it's all about Pinkman. It's like from moments after driving through the gate to whatever else he's doing. So
Yes.
yeah, so be sure to check that out if you haven't seen it.
I will.
October 11th, it will drop on Netflix, where I will definitely be watching. I've had enough time away from Breaking Bad. I can dip my toe back in that water.
Yeah. It'll be less consuming.
Yeah, I've rewatched Good Omens 6 times to refresh my
Oh,
soul. I'm ready for everything.
Good. So good.
It's so good. I'm tempted to get the DVD that they're offering with the extras and everything else,
Ooh.
just so I'll have it and I don't have to worry about streaming it.
Last little bit of tech news though. Have you seen what Voodoo is doing?
No.
So, Voodoo, the digital content.
Yeah.
Like, if you get your code, you can get it through Voodoo if you want. So now, if you download the Voodoo app and you take a picture of a physical copy, DVD or Blu-ray, and it syncs with your GPS and says that you're at your billing address, you can buy a digital version of whatever that hard copy is for $5.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. And boy, I'll tell you, there has been a lot of people online talking about all the things they've been borrowing from the library lately.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
To take home and then shoot with their Voodoo app.
Oh
Anyway.
my gosh. Yeah, people.
I know.
This is why we can't have good things.
I know.
Actually,
But
my hat's off to you too, because I think speaking of things, I think it was you that turned me on to the Plex media server, wasn't it? Like that's
Oh, Plex is the best.
So after the other computer died, the old Mac Mini I got here, I've got it running a Plex server.
Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect.
And let me just say that my wife finally got to see all of oh god, what is that show? American Horror Story season 8 Apocalypse, because it's nowhere online.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, she just binged the whole thing.
I love that. I love that show so much.
I just kind of like weaved in and out, and I just was able to give my opinion. Season 1 was interesting, and I think then the Roanoke season seemed pretty revolutionary and interesting.
Yeah.
And I think this Apocalypse season was pretty good too. So
yeah,
you may be happy to check it out when you do. But thanks for that, because now it's made bringing some of my other movies into easier viewing. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, it's free and it's awesome, and you can even like set it to run if you're going to be out of the house. You can still watch it on the road.
Yeah, and you can also, like, the important thing too is that if you have Fire TV as your wireless solution, you can run the media app and just watch on the telly.
Yep.
Really,
with some aluminum.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Until next time, my name is Will.
And I'm Trent with a tuft of hair from the dog.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty in the corners outside my room. Until next time, when we will, in fact, be back.
Soon-ish.
Why you got to throw the ish, man?
Well,
Okay. All right.
It'll be a surprise.
Okay.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off. I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it. NetHeads. NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
So of all the stupid things to complain about with all the reorganizing that's had to go on in here, and with all of the things I've picked up recently, this is dumb to say out loud, but right now I'm stuck using this little tiny wireless keyboard because my main keyboard is on a KVM switch, and I need to be able to get that USB cord over there. But you remember that big old cabling project I did underneath the desk?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like 2 layers deep, man. So I decided though,
Cable management, it matters, man.
I decided what I'm going to do next time, Trent, is I'm going to get a very thin, very lightweight piece of wood. And what I'm going to put on the underside of the desk, especially if I get the new one, is going to be a piece of wood that fits in there, and it's going to be mounted into drop posts by about this much.
Yes.
So I can go ahead and attach all of the hardware over here because the holes will align with the posts.
Yep.
And then I can, even if I want, put holes in the wood, so that way then all I'm doing is dropping cables down and plugging into the devices.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I don't have to be under the desk to do 85% of it.
Yeah, because that's yeah. You get a standing desk, and for some reason you're still underneath it all the time.
Yeah, no matter what, you can't get away because there's only one goddamn way to wire something underneath the desk, and that's underneath the desk. And there's nothing sadder than seeing a fat guy underneath a desk. I'm just saying.
I know it's funny because it's true.
Indeed.